Welcome to Stars X. They started as four kids in Dublin, Ireland, with nothing but raw passion and a dream. Who could have guessed that these teenagers would go on to shape the sound of rock music, inspire millions, and stand the test of time? This is the story of U2, a band that redefined the music industry through its triumphs, struggles, and an unwavering bond.
Dave, I think it's important to point out that, when I put that notice on the board, I asked for three other good-looking guys who could play. And this is what...
In the fall of 1976, a 14-year-old Larry Mullen Jr. pinned a note on the Mount Temple Comprehensive School notice board looking for musicians to start a band. The response? 6 people, including Paul Hewson, later known as Bono, David Evans, The Edge, his brother Dick Evans, Adam Clayton, and a few others. This was the birth of what would eventually become U2. At first, they were just another school band, calling themselves Feedback, then The Hype. But soon, the lineup changed, Dick Evans left, and the core four remained. With Bono as the frontman, The Edge on guitar, Adam Clayton on bass, and Larry Mullen Jr. on drums, they settled on a name that would later become legendary, U2. They weren't the most skilled musicians at first, but what they lacked in technical ability, they made up for with sheer energy, conviction, and an ambition that set them apart. Their first big break came in 1978 when they won a talent contest, earning them studio time and a record deal with CBS Ireland.
This clip from 1978 represents the world's hottest ticket in their first ever appearance on RTE as U2.
This marked the beginning of their long and tumultuous journey. Despite their early success, financial struggles plagued them. Rehearsing in garages, borrowing instruments, and playing small gigs, they faced constant uncertainty. But what drove them forward was their unwavering belief in their music. They knew they had something special. They weren't just playing for fame, they were playing to change the world. With their 1980 debut album, Boy, U2 captured youthful angst and ambition, and Bono's deeply personal lyrics resonated with many.
I don't really like to talk about things. I do my best talking in the actual words themselves, and that's where I like to talk about the things that affect me. They're autobiographical, as I say. I'm not sure if there's more I can add to them. Some people read things into the songs that aren't there, and I think that's good. I use images rather than just sentences.
I think an audience has to identify to songs in their own personal way.
Early on, for the first 3 albums, I was pretty much the sole producer. And it was, I was the experienced one. So I was the guy who thought, okay, those drums have to be out in the hardway. And, they'd never been in recording studios. They hardly had ever been in a record store,
Their live performances became legendary, but mainstream success was still a dream. They poured their souls into their music, balancing day jobs and school, often rehearsing late into the night, driven by an insatiable hunger to be heard. Then came War in 1983, featuring Sunday Bloody Sunday and New Year's Day. Songs that spoke of conflict and hope. It was their first true breakthrough, but success wasn't always easy. Critics questioned whether they'd be a fleeting trend or if they could sustain their momentum. Internal debates about their identity as a band, and the pressure to keep producing great music began to surface.
First tour of the States. What do you think of us so far? Do we respond the proper way to your music? Do we like you? What do you think of us?
Well, we found that there's not that many people that actually are the typical American. I don't think there's such thing. And that's one thing we found. It's a very big country. It's a continent. It's not a country at all. Mm-hmm.
I think you said about making war successfully. I think maybe everybody in this building is in some ways trying to make war. I see it as a war against mediocrity, a war against what people expect from Irish groups, a war against writers that can't write, a war against leaders that can't lead, maybe, I don't know.
In 1987, everything changed. The Joshua Tree turned them into global superstars. Tracks like With or Without You and Where the Streets Have No Name solidified U2's place in history.
To be honest, we're so busy just, trying to, just get on with the day-to-day job of being in a band. We don't get time to think about a lot of things. Sometimes you get time, Oftentimes it's just when you walk out on stage, you're taken aback or amazed by, because we've played to 11 people, and so when you see 6,000 or 60,000, it's an extraordinary feeling, and there's no really words I could put to that.
But with fame came pressure. Their follow-up, Rattle and Hum, was met with mixed reviews. Some saw it as indulgent, others believed it was a natural progression for a band exploring their roots. Was U2 about to fade? Reinvention was the answer. In 1991, Achtung Baby dropped, a radical shift in their sound. It was edgy, electronic, and deeply introspective. Songs like One and Mysterious Ways proved they could evolve. But behind the scenes, tensions were high. The band struggled with personal issues, creative differences, and the pressure of staying relevant. Yet U2 pushed through. They embraced change with pop in 1997, though not all fans embraced it back. The Pop Mart tour, while ambitious, had its struggles. Some wondered, was this the beginning of the end? Financial strains, changing audience tastes, and the advent of new musical genres all posed challenges. But they came back stronger. In the 2000s, All That You Can't Leave Behind returned them to their roots, with Beautiful Day reminding the world why U2 mattered. More albums followed, more stadium tours, and their activism only grew. They were more than musicians. They were advocates, voices for the voiceless, using their platform to spark real change. Decades later, U2 still stands. Unlike many bands that fade, they adapted. Bono, beyond the music, became a major activist for global causes, fighting AIDS, poverty, and social injustice. The Edge explored new music projects and philanthropy. Larry and Adam, the quiet backbone of U2, continued contributing to the band while enjoying personal pursuits. Their legacy is more than their albums and concerts. It's the impact they've had on people. U2's songs became anthems of hope, defiance, and unity. Fans connected with their message, whether it was about love, politics, or faith. Even after decades, their music remains as powerful as ever. Through highs and lows, U2 never truly disbanded. They fought, they reconciled, they created. Their music remains a force, and their influence stretches far beyond the charts. Even in the digital age, they continue to innovate, releasing new music, collaborating with younger artists, and staying relevant in an ever-changing industry. So, what's next for U2? Maybe another album, another tour. Or maybe, just maybe, they've already given us everything we ever needed, a soundtrack to our lives. Their legacy is cemented, their story still unfolding, proving that true passion, resilience, and brotherhood can stand the test of time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.